Twisted genius. Dream life beast. What if I never made it to the top? What if that meant that I was never meant to rock? Would it be the reason that it finally make me stop? Or make me go hard and give it everything I got? Made a promise to them all, I'ma push it till I drop. If it's in the Lord's will, I bring it back to the block. I ain't made it through the door, but I put cracks in the lock. While my way from on the bottom, now I'm headed for the top.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my world. Shout out to all my new subscribers. If you haven't had a chance, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This is for y'all. I want to salute y'all for showing up each and every time with these videos and rocking with me and showing me that y'all down and y'all appreciate the content. I very much appreciate y'all, and I do this for y'all. This is a different type of video for me today. It's on a more serious note that I thought would probably, if it hasn't already, start affecting a lot of us on a day-to-day basis and how we pay our bills and get these jobs and conduct ourselves in the workplace, right? So everybody knows SoooRay from the UK, right? If you don't, you need to. She's an Instagram sweetheart. She's actually born in London and grew up in LA. She's a global dancer and model with a bolstering 80,000 following. And aside from being beautiful and having one of the most adorable and seductive accents I've ever heard, she's an artist, heavily into anime, hence the name Anime Ray, and you can pretty much find her presence on YouTube, Twitter, and OnlyFans. And aside from that, she's a sister out here trying to make it, right? And the reason I bring her up is because of her post today. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I thought was not only some foolishness going on and some BS, some more BS that our people got to deal with in this society, and when I say our people, I'm not even talking about color. I'm talking about social classes at this point. I'm talking about lifestyle choices at this point, right? So SoooRay made a post today, and it caught my attention because it's something that I actually had dealt with myself recently. And I first want to shout out to her, for handling the situation so well. I apologize it had to end like that, or you had to go through that, but it's definitely something we need to shine some light on, right? So she posted a post saying that she was fired from her job today for being culturally unfit. Well, basically not being culturally fit for the company, which is pretty much the same thing, right? So I know that it's kind of raising eyebrows, right? Culturally fit, what does that mean for a company? What does it mean when you're not culturally fit for a company, and how do you get fired for that, right? Because if somebody just come up to me and tell me like, you're not culturally fit, we gotta get rid of you, I'm gonna have some questions. You just not walking me out the door and telling me nothing like that. You gotta explain yourself, right? So let's go ahead and explain it. So first off, what is cultural fit? BreatheHR.com defines a cultural fit as saying what we mean by business culture. A company's culture can be seen as the values and beliefs of the company's founders through. So first off, what is cultural fit? BreatheHR.com defines cultural fit as follows. Let's define what we mean by business culture. A company's culture can be seen as the values and beliefs of the company's founders through to the collective force of employees, interactions between management and staff, and the environment in which they work. So basically, it's basically the culture of the company and what goes on the floor. For an example, an instance, somebody that has a really cool company culture is a company like Google. You walk into a Google office building, you're going to see people playing video games. You're going to see people creating things, working on projects. It's just a really cool environment. That's the culture. If you're not comfortable with that type of environment, you want it to be quiet. You don't want to see people playing video games. You don't want to see a lot of youthful and young employees on the rise creating things and dressing young. Just a little bit more active in the office, a little bit more engagement, more talk, more social activity. If you're not a fan of that, then that wouldn't be a company that you would be culturally fit for, right? They go on to say it's a bit like an ecosystem involving a complex network of organisms and components, which includes us humans and the technology, systems, premises, tools, etc., which we need to work. Just like there are variations in an individual's personalities, business culture varies from company to company. It's why some people fit into one set of business values and a particular working environment, but not in others. Like I said, if you're comfortable working in a quiet office where nobody's talking and that's what you like, you don't want to hear noise, you don't want to hear anybody, then you would likely not want to work in a company that is very noisy, and their culture is them speaking loudly while you're trying to make calls, while you're trying to be on the phone, while you're trying to work. If you can't work and conduct yourself through that, that's probably not the best company for you to work, right? Cultural fit is essentially all about matching people with business culture. It seems simple, but it's really important to understand that cultural fit hiring doesn't mean recruiting people who are identical. Cultural fit shouldn't be used to discriminate against diversity. A great company culture will reflect a diverse workforce. But that's where things start getting a little sticky, right? How can you say you want things to be diverse if you don't want people working there that don't fit a certain standard or fit into a certain culture? That's kind of discrimination, right? And that's kind of what we dealing with on this topic. So I don't agree with that statement at all. I believe the statement that a great company will reflect a diverse workforce, I believe that to be true. But I think that goes against exactly what they're trying to describe as being culturally fit. So, and as I was saying, the next statement, get this wrong and cracks will appear. A great company culture can quickly turn toxic, and there's lots of research out there to support the fact that homogeneous teams don't make groundbreaking business, diverse teams do, right? So they're saying having a company with all the same types of people in the environment is not going to make a great company for you. You need diverse people. You need somebody that don't like it being loud so they can work and get a job done. You need somebody that, if you got an environment where you have people that are very calm and laid back, but you have people that are calling in with escalated calls, you need somebody that's a little bit more aggressive on the phone, as far as handling irate customers, to be able to handle those type of customers, right? So you need a little bit diversity. You can't have everybody timid, and you can't have everybody, I don't mean timid, you can't have everybody quiet and non-confrontational when it comes to that type of business, right? For example, an older person returning to the workplace after caring for their children may not appear to fit in the culture of younger people, happy to work late, but they will bring a whole lot of knowledge and life experience to the table that can make a difference to the business. And just because they aren't young and can't go to the pub due to family commitments, it doesn't mean that they don't uphold the same values as the business. That's another point. You can't look at somebody based off their age and assume they're not going to be able to keep up with the culture of a company. That's another thing that could kick you in the butt, and that's why you don't discriminate when you're hiring people. But you can't hire people and then a couple months down the line be like, you don't fit in, which is exactly what they're doing. And yes, it exists. It's a thing, right? And I'm just trying to break it down for you. The underlying cultural hallmark of an organization should be embraced by its employees. If a business has a highly collaborative approach to working, then a person who only works well on their own may not best fit in. But to enrich company culture, it's important not to build teams with people who all think, look, and act the same way. So it's so much being said that's conflicting of what they're trying to do and what they actually doing, right? And they didn't even write this. This has nothing to do with their country. This has nothing to do with their company. This is something completely different, right? Employers who get cultural fit hiring right are those who understand that business needs a mix of people. A company of full clones doesn't equate to good culture. Great culture fit is all based on the fact that an employee who feels connected to the values of the business and clicks naturally with its nuances is more likely to thrive, which is what happens in a lot of the situations. I done worked in a lot of places where people aren't the most social, but and we're working in a social atmosphere, but they do a kick-ass job, right? So that's another reason why you can't really go off of that. Now, let's talk about how you end up getting fired for not being an example of being culturally fit. Normally, when we talk about firing an employee, it's because the employee has broken the rules or has failed to perform their job duties. This leaves many organizations wondering if they can fire someone for not being a good fit, which isn't for misconduct or really even the employee's fault at all. Yep, you heard me say that right. This leaves many organizations wondering if they can fire someone for not being a good fit, which isn't misconduct or really isn't even the employee's fault at all. The short answer is yes. You can fire someone for being a poor cultural fit at your organization if your state follows at-will employment. At-will employment is the worst thing to ever happen to the work culture. That's basically giving all these companies the right to fire anybody for no reason at all. They can fire you because your shirt red. They can fire you because they don't like the way you tie your shoes. They can fire you because they don't like your haircut. And it exists in certain states. Real talk. So all these people that think they got rights, not in a lot of these states. So why would you want to fire someone who is not a good fit? What steps can you take to move the process further? And most importantly, what aspects of the move do you have to pay special attention to? So they got to dot their I's and cross their T's before they do it, right? They got to make sure it doesn't fall under any certain type of categories where they can get sued. So let's dive in by first exploring what's a good fit employee and how poor fits can damage your business practices. What is a poor cultural fit? Terms like good fit and bad fit sound a bit strange when you first hear them. However, most people are talking about the same thing, an employee's ability to fit in with their coworkers and their company's culture in a way that allows them to get along with everyone and perform their role. Now, I've been in situations, I'll tell you, and I haven't always been the most social person. So on the work floor, I done went to companies and just wanted to do my job. You know what I'm saying? Do a damn good job, work on my own, leave me alone, let me do my job. Period. And everybody should be entitled to do that. If you're doing your job well, if you're doing exactly what's in line with the company, with the rules, you're doing a good job, the customers are appreciating you, then you should be left alone. Simple as that. I don't think the fact that you don't want to come to work and be cheery, you don't want to sing the company song with everybody. You don't want to come to work and engage in the company potlucks and things like that. You just want to come to work and do your job. I think you should absolutely be able to do that. And that's where this becomes conflicting. And then there's other situations where it becomes uncomfortable when they find out that you're not into certain things that they are. And this is where I can really tie it in to where it really relates to myself. Now, when I started the video, I said that it was a situation I had recently been in that was kind of similar to what she was going through. So let me explain that. What I meant by that, I was recently working at a job, and when I started working for the job, we're working all at home, I immediately noticed the culture. And this was different for me because I had never experienced this being pushed so heavily in the day-to-day involvement of running the company, right? So basically what happened, I started noticing very subtle things like every email that I would get would have rainbows on them, right? So I didn't pay no mind to it at first, but I did take notice to the management. It seemed like all of the management were obviously very proud of the lifestyle that they live. No problem with that. More power to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking anybody's lifestyle that they choose or how they choose to conduct themselves. But the problem was when it's forced. Like they would say little subtle things like, well, we like all of our employees to participate in the company activities when we celebrate things. And we have something coming up in the near future that we like everybody to participate in. Okay, no problem with that. Then you start getting emails about what exactly you're going to be participating in, and you kind of find out that this is all based on Pride Month coming up, right? So you as a straight individual, this isn't something that you really want to take part in or conduct in. Not having an issue with it. It's just that as a straight man, you shouldn't have to celebrate being gay with anyone. Like that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't offend anyone. It should. I'm not going to be mad at a gay person that doesn't want to involve themselves in me celebrating being straight. It should work vice versa. But you start to notice that, people act a little different when they know you ain't down with the cause. You start to notice that everybody in the upper management is kind of also living a lifestyle. Everybody's kind of going along with the culture. I started receiving emails that would let me know what type of activities they had going on, right? So I got one email that stated, yeah, we have a booth that's going to be set up. And if you've ever had any thoughts, about your lifestyle, about maybe changing your lifestyle, and you want somebody to talk to about it, and you want to maybe go a little deeper with it, then we have somebody you can talk to. I've never once in a company in my life of working in corporate America had a job reach out and basically question you about your sexual preference, right? And everybody else is on board, and you looking like you in the twilight zone, and you like, what is this normal? Is this regular? Do they supposed to send this email out to me? Like, it's like stuff that you've never experienced, right? Or me personally, right? So I'm sitting here looking at this stuff, and I'm like, no matter how I want to move or advance in this company, it was made clear to me that the only way to do that is by being very adaptive or very tolerant of what they got going on. Now, as a straight individual, these are things that I very much had a problem with and I couldn't get with, right? It wasn't something that I was comfortable with. COVID was a blessing when everybody had it. I don't mean COVID was a blessing, of course, but the fact that everybody had to work at home, I didn't have to actually go into the environment and be more uncomfortable because of what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I might have ran across things that I just didn't feel comfortable with. I moved from a city where, certain things are still a little bit taboo to me, right? And I understand the culture. I understand people. I don't knock anybody. I just feel like you shouldn't push anything on anybody that doesn't want to be involved, right? And they should be able to conduct themselves, come to work, do their job without any interruption with that, right? So this is kind of how I'm tying in to her situation, because it was a couple posts put up that we're going to go through that kind of made me related to what she was going through, right? So let's pull those up. So these were basically all the screenshots. So this is the first thing she had to say. These people had me going above and beyond for them for hours without pay, for weeks without my first check. The first check was messed up. Then they shorted the hours. The last check. This is why she's so mad. And I don't care about the job. It's the fact that they made me feel played and discriminated against. Don't nobody ever want to feel like that. on a job floor, right? Don't nobody ever want to feel discriminated against, especially for no situations out of your control, right? And when you start speaking up against certain things that are going on, you speak up against certain individuals, then yeah, you will notice that other people that's been there with them, they'll turn their back in a heartbeat. They'll stop rocking with you. They'll stop messing with you. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at you funny, and you will know that they switched in turn, right? So of course, she had to get a little comical. You got to know Ray personality. I see y'all raggedy asses watching me. Y'all stalkers. How everybody got my IG and I didn't give it to y'all. Well, first you are very famous. If somebody just asked SoooRay, I be on IG though, so yeah, you famous. You famous enough for them to know like who you are. I definitely think you got the fame part going. Why Rudy called me a nigga? So it looks like a manager, which she pointed out later who Rudy was, actually called a racial slur, ended up calling her a nigga. And why James sexually harassing the girls. This is sick, and Victoria told me Carell started problems and bullied people, then started trying to bully me, y'all lame. So it looks like, a couple people kind of got pointed out that it told her certain things had already been going on there. And it looks like things just got worse. So she started noticing stuff. It looks like she kind of felt like she was being bullied. And when she started bringing stuff up, the tables turned. To be honest, I was going to quit because nothing was professional since I got there. But then I guess the universe got something better. I just wanted to wait till I found something better to quit because they didn't deserve my work ethic. And if that ain't the truth, don't never let no job feel like you ain't got no other options. Your work ethic is always going to show when you go to somewhere else that it was, worth leaving. So don't never be afraid of that. I definitely can feel that because if you work hard to be professional, you work hard to show up to a job and do your very best, then you find out that it's not professional things going on. You know what I'm saying? You find out that the people that are over you are jokes. They doing silly things, getting high on the clock, things that you just don't respect upper management doing, right? Then you lose all respect for the company. I had another situation where, I kind of self-destructed with a company that I was working for simply because I figured out what the upper management was on and what they were doing as far as being successful on the floor and being successful as far as getting money. Like it was all fraudulent, and then when you find out things are being done fraudulently, then you don't come to work and put your all and put your effort, 100% effort into a fraudulent situation. Nobody does that. And then this one was the one that I kind of connected to. Basically, because of my sexual status of being straight is the only reason I got terminated. They said because I'm not a cultural fit. Mind you, every pretty girl that worked there is lesbian. So what the fuck does this mean? I was early before every manager, never late to a break, never late from a break, and got done with all my work before my break and was still nice to people after they tried to bully me. But you can't bully Ray. Don't let them bully you, right? On top of that, the manager called me a nigga. Yeah, this is like it sometimes it just begins. I commend her first for even allowing them to get to the point that they fired you, because the racial slur, it would have been it for me. They'd have had to fire me at that point. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been anything beyond that. And I'm gonna take a word for it and hope that is exactly what happened, because I don't want things to be done. But it looks like other people had also keyed in and chimed in and commented on the thing that said they were facing similar situations. So it kind of leads you to believe that she's been 100% truthful about everything she's saying going on. This is the other post she put. So today I got discriminated against because I'm not a cultural fit. This is the first time I have ever been let go. When I tell y'all I was on my job at this place, showed up to work before everyone, was nice to people that tried to bully me, and and 1 week before I reported the incident to the owner about how I felt uncomfortable. See, she reported the incident, and then that's when the BS start happening. People start changing on us. People start changing on you. People start acting different. They kind of just push you out the club, per se. It got uncomfortable that one of my coworkers were trying to bully me. This week I get terminated for no absolute reason. Before I kept asking, why are you terminating me? She said she had the right to fire anyone at any time for no reason. I'm going to repeat that. She said she had the right to fire anyone at any time for any reason. Mind you, earlier the manager called me a nigga, and I had been uncomfortable there since I started working. They messed up my paycheck and wasn't even keeping me with my hours correctly. This place is a disgrace. I would advise y'all not to shop there when I've overheard coworkers talking bad about black people when half of their customers is black. Right? So yeah, so that's basically what I was saying, man. It basically looks like she was doing a job. They wanted her to be in the in crowd with everybody else. They wanted her to be a friend. We want to go out together. We want everybody to be a family. We want everybody to know the dirt that's going on here. We want everybody to kind of have each other back. And if you're against that, then you're not going to work out. So immediately when she started to report that it was things going on, people started acting differently, and then you show up to work and you're all of a sudden fired. And we don't want to take our word for it that it's just her saying this on Instagram, just trying to blow it up, saying that she was fired for not being culturally fit. We also got the audio. So
Coach, calm down. Because you're not a cultural fit. Coach, calm down. Because you're not a cultural fit. Coach, calm down.
So y'all can hear her both. That's Ray saying calm down. So I guess the girl was a little bit hyper while she was firing you. So why would you be hype firing somebody that you're firing for no reason? Right? Why would you be all hype about it? And she's telling her to calm down. Like, she's more calm than her, and she's the one getting fired. Like, that doesn't seem weird. Like, let's go back to it. And she literally said, I'm firing you because you're not a cultural fit. So it's no lie here. She definitely fired her because of that reason. So if y'all out there in LA and y'all shop here, y'all might want to be aware of what Brea Collective is on. But like I said, man, shout out to Ray. I think she handled it perfectly. I think she handled everything from how she handled it now, because she ain't even been as abrasive as she should be, right? I think it could have got a lot worse with this. Shout out to her for handling and keeping her composure when the lady was firing her. And shout out to just being, stand up about the whole situation. She's taking it lightly. She's laughing. She's still cheerful. Y'all didn't take her smile away. She knows she still can get out here and get this money. Y'all didn't kill anything. So shout out and salute to her, man. Y'all go ahead and check this out. Comment. Let me know what y'all think about this. I think she 100% correct in the way she handling things and what she decided to do with it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. If you haven't had a chance, like I said earlier, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, and until the next video, shout out to y'all. I'm out.